cells and organism. Organs are formed when multiple tissues are grouped together. There are division of two types of tissues, an animal and tissue. Plant tissue. Plant tissues are classified into two groups, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Permanent tissue is classified into two groups, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue is classified into three groups, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Complex permanent tissue is classified into two groups, xylem and phloem. Meristematic tissue. A tissue is a group of similar dissimilar cells engaged in the similar function. Meristematic tissue is also called as an meristem. They are made up of immature cells or undifferentiated cells. The cells are small in size. Intercellular space is negligible. Cell wall is thinner with a prominent nucleus. Types of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue is classified into three types: apical, intercalary, and lateral meristem. Apical, intercalary, and lateral meristem. Apical meristem. They are present at the tips of the stem, roots, and branches. They are responsible for the axial growth of a plant. Intercalary meristem. They are present at the base of the internodes and are responsible for the growth of the internal region. Lateral meristem. They are present in the lateral sides of the stem and roots, and lateral meristem is responsible for the radial growth of the plant. Permanent tissue. A permanent tissue are composed of mature cells which have lost their power of the division. Cells in permanent tissue attract different shape, size, and function. They may be dead or living. Permanent tissue are derived from the meristematic tissue. Permanent tissue are broadly classified into two major groups: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue are classified into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. We could see here the three difference between parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma tissue. Parenchyma tissue composed of unspecialized loosely packed living cells with relatively thin cell wall. Collenchyma tissue composed of living and elongated cells with the cell wall irregular, thickened at the corners. However, little intercellular space, provide flexibility and mechanical support to the various parts of the cell. The sclerenchyma tissue composed of long, narrow, and lignin deposit thick cell-walled cells. This cell is made up of a dead cell and there is no intercellular space between them. Complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissues are conducting tissue which takes part in a transport function of plants. There are two types of tissues: xylem, transport of water, and phloem, which transport of food material. Xylem tissue. Xylem vessels and transients are tubular structures which allow vertically transport of water and minerals. Vessel cells are continuous while transits are discontinuous. Xylem parenchyma stores food and conducts water sideways. Xylem fibers are supportive in function. Animal tissue. Animal tissues are broadly classified into four types: epithelium, connective, muscular, and nervous tissue. Epithelium is divided into four parts: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar, and ciliated tissue. And connective tissue are divided into four types: alveolar, adipose, skeletal, and fluids. Alveolar is divided into two types: tendon and ligament, and skeleton is divided into bone and cartilage, and fluid is divided into blood and lime. And muscular tissue is divided into three types: plated, smooth, and cardiac. Epithelial tissue. It is the outermost covering part of the body cavity, and internal organ. It supplies different organic system in the body. Cells are arranged as tightly packed continuous sheets without any intercellular space. They are found in the surface of skin, buccal cavity, blood vessels, alveoli, kidney tubulus. And based on the different shapes and epithelium cells and epithelia can be broadly classified as squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium, and cuboidal epithelium tissues. Squamous, columnar, and cuboidal epithelium. function include observation of segregation. Cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium is a type of epithelium tissue made up of cube-shaped cells. The main function of cuboidal epithelium are absorption, segregation, and excretion. Connective tissue. They are connected and support the body various tissue and organelles. They include soft connective tissue as well as specialized form of such as cartilage, bone, adipose tissue, and blood. Cells in the connective tissue excluding blood segregates polyethylene or adipose fibers. They are broadly divided into four types: alveolar, adipose, and skeletal, and fluid tissue. Alveolar tissue. Alveolar is a connective tissue is found between the skin and muscular and around blood vessels and nerves and in the bone marrow. It fills the spaces inside the organelles, supportive internal organs, and helps in repair of tissues. Types of alveolar tissue. Tendon. A tendon is a tough and thick band of fibrous but concentric tissue that connects muscles to bones. Tendon are also known as snails. Ligament. Ligament is a connective tissue that provides supportive to the organelles and connected the bones together. They are short bands of tough and flexible tissue that are made up of lots of individual fibers. Adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a type of loosely connective tissue located below the skin around the internal organ in a yellow bone marrow and mammary glands. It is made up of an external matrix containing white fibers and yellow fibers. In white, the large cells containing fat are present. Skeletal tissue. The skeletal tissue is a connective tissue that proposes a solid matrix and the living cells in the fluid-filled spaces called lavia. Generally, the skeletal tissue provides support and protection that by forming an endoskeleton. There is two types of skeletal tissue named bones and cartilage. Bones. The bone is a rigid tissue that makes up of our body skeleton. The bone is a connective tissue that is made up of different types of cells. Cartilage. Cartilage is a soft, elastic, and flexible connective tissue that protects the bone from rubbing and another on each other. Fluid tissue. A fluid connective tissue that connects various parts of the body. It is maintaining the continuous of the body. It contains liquid material called plasma, blood cells like RBC and WBC. A liquid connective tissue is a fluid connective tissue that connects various parts of the body. Nervous tissue. Nervous tissue or the nerve tissue, the main tissue of our nerve system. It is most and regular the function of the body. Nervous tissue consists of two cells, nerve cells or neurons. Muscular tissue. Muscular tissue are specialized tissue in animals which applies force to different parts of the body by contacting it. It's made up of one thin and elongated cells called muscular fiber. It controls the movement of an organism. They are classified into three types.